Hello and welcome to the Art of Selling Online Courses, where we share winning strategies and secret hacks from top performers in the online course industry. My name's John Ainsworth, and today's guest is Calvin Coyles. I've talked to quite a few friends recently who are friends and clients who, as they start to get more sales, it's like there's a whole emotional experience that goes on of like, oh, what if this carries on, then life is going to be amazing. Or what if this doesn't carry on? Oh my God, there's a whole set of stuff going on, emotions that go with it. It's really interesting hearing your experience.
And I think for a lot of people as well, John, you'll know this. I think one of the biggest mistakes a lot of people make in any business, but particularly in online as well, is that they've got a program and a funnel that's working, but they don't spend enough money. So right now, if you're spending $1 and you've got a ROAS of $4, or spend $2 and you'll have a ROAS of $8, right? Obviously, it's not always going to be consistent like that, but you shouldn't go from $1 to 10,000 necessarily. But you get the idea. If it's working and you're making money, don't let your emotions get in the way, scale it. And if you've got a business model where you've built your funnel properly, you can even afford to maybe even lose cash on the front end, depending on how you do it. But a lot of scalability is taking the emotion out of it and just looking at the data, which I think is probably a reason why you've done so well with the data-driven marketing that you've got, because you take the emotion out. I don't care if you like your ads. I don't care if people are not buying as much as they were last week. If it's still cash flow positive, spend more money and you're going to acquire more clients.
Absolutely. So what's the annual revenue at now for you guys? You've told us kind of a few numbers so far. What are you doing overall?
Yeah, so we've got a couple of different companies, but the main company that we've got here at Wild Success does about 3 million. We're on track to do $3 million a year this financial year, and that'll probably sit somewhere around about 1.5 million in net profit.
Nice. Okay, cool. And how does it work? Someone gets through, where are you getting traffic in from? You mentioned that Facebook is kind of a big deal for you guys.
We pretty much predominantly rely on Facebook and Instagram marketing. So we do a lot of paid promotion through those platforms. We had a live events company that we used to do seminars and events, and then obviously COVID hit. We did have online work at that point as well, but it wasn't our main business. So when that happened, we lost $1.5 million overnight. We then pivoted everything and moved it online, and we've just now built all of our infrastructure digitally. And we had to rebuild our business March last year. So we're meant to go on the road. We can't run events. We've got a whole business and obviously got clients that are expecting live trainings. We shut that business down effectively. We rebuild it. It's still the same company, but effectively to rebuild everything about a year ago. And it's been the best thing ever happened to us because we just took everything online. We expanded globally. The margins are much better in digital training than they are in live. So that's real nice. Basically, the model that we have is the primary business, let's just talk about the main business for now, is an NLP and coaching training academy. So we effectively train people on how to become coaches, right? So the client applies for an ad on Facebook and Instagram. We have a scholarship model where normally to do an NLP coaching program is normally about $5,000. We do a scholarship where we allow clients to apply, they complete an application form, and then we give them a deal where they can effectively, if we're talking Aussie dollars, it's $1,000 Australian. If you're in Britain, it's £500. It's a huge discount to join. They speak to our salesperson or our coach, they apply, and then they do an online training program with us called The Art of Coaching, which is a 6-week online course that they do with me and my head coach, Jason, live. There's a whole heap of other stuff in there. And then from there, the next step of the funnel is they join us for a master's program, which is like an advanced coaching credentials program, or they join us for a business incubator called Wild Launch, which is a 6-figure accelerator. And then from there, we have higher ticket programs like a mastermind or a mentoring program, coaches circle as well. So there's a couple of levels to it, but effectively ad, Facebook, Instagram, scholarship, masters or launch or a combination. That's pretty much the model.
And do you make money on the scholarship, or is that like a loss leader in order to get people into the whole of the rest of the program?
It's a good question. So we used to have it as a loss leader when it was an event, because by the time you put in the cost of running an event, it's prohibitive. But now, because it's digital, we make money on that. So what we try to do, our goal every month is effectively to try and make $100,000 a month just purely from the scholarships, which depending on what price point we're playing at, we've had months where we've sold, 200 plus people into the scholarship program. At the moment, our goal is to try and do 100 people at $1,000. So do effectively $100,000 a month, because that'll cover basically our operational costs. We'll run the whole business basically off that. And then the upgrades that we get from clients at our high ticket programs is where we'll make all of our profitability. So minimum would be about 2.5, but our goal is to do 3. We're on track to do that. And so then that would effectively cover the business model as part of that. So we do make money on the scholarships. It's not a lot of money, but it goes into enough to cover effectively the gross margin covers our operating costs.
Got it. And then with the masters and the higher level stuff that comes after, how much of that is digital? How much of that is calls? How much of it is one-to-one stuff? How does it work?
Yeah, so I love the interaction. I love the live connection and engagement from people. So we could definitely run it in an evergreen way. And we do have programs like that we run evergreen, but I like to run it live. So for the AOC program, the first level, the client gets 6 live sessions. We do effectively 6 intakes a year, so 6 live sessions over 6 weeks. They also get a Q&A session with Jason as well. That's also live. They get 3 one-on-one coaching sessions. And then they also get a video training library, which is pre-recorded content, which is more of your tools and techniques. Then the master's program is 12 weeks of live training, so live calls, Q&A sessions live as well. Then they also get a 4-day live event, and they can come to that live event. But if you're virtual, if you're global, we now sort of zoom you into it. So you can sort of attend it as a virtual ticket instead of the live ticket. So there are some components that are still physical. And part of that is, one, we love doing it. But also, 2, when we had our old business model, we sold hundreds of people around the world to do live trainings that we haven't been able to run. So there is an element that out of integrity and also financial, we have to run these events because we promised them. In the future, though, we'll probably phase out from live events in terms of people in the room with us and just run everything as virtual summits effectively. But we try to run as much of it as possible virtually and live. And the reason for that is, 1, I've got a passion for that. But 2, for me personally, I've found that you get a higher level of engagement in the online material the more that it's live. If I can access the training at any point in time, it's like 24-hour gyms. Yes, okay, great. It's going to work for that average person that maybe wants to train at an obscure time, but how many people are actually training at obscure times? You complain that you don't want to get up at 5 a.m. to go to the gym, but you're not training at any time in the day unless you get up for the PT. So for us, we like to have people on it live. We have a better engagement. And for us, the goal is to change their life, to give them the tools. And also we know if they finish the program, we've got a chance to upgrade them. If they don't finish the program, they're probably not upgrading. So it works economically for us as well to put more resources in as well as part of that.